uh, you got to have talented players, and they got to believe in each other. You got to trust, and then I think because you care about each other so much, there's special ingredients for teams that can walk off like that. And yeah, this team has earned that. And I think every time you do it, it's kind of fitting. You do it the first game of the year, and then the trust and the belief just continues to grow and grow and grow. And it doesn't give you a pass for not playing good, thinking you can always pull it out at the end. But man, it is nice to have in your back pocket.
When you make a couple mistakes like you guys did in the ninth inning, do you even have to say anything? They know, don't they?
Yeah, I was probably more frustrated that Kamayu tried to make it up on defense. When he's such a good baseball player, and he tried to force a good bunt by their guy, and it's one of those games where as a coach, man, I can do a better job coaching and we can get better. Like we definitely got their attention on areas that we have to improve in. But there's a certain way that we play, and you kind of have to live and die with it. But give both pitching staffs a lot of credit tonight, man. That's you don't see a lot of college baseball games that well pitched, that well played, that low scoring, and you felt like it was going to be a close one as the game kept going on.
Kind of building off that, with it being a midweek game and being such a low score, when you were scouting Kentucky, was that something that you kind of had in the back of your mind which could happen?
Well, yeah, I mean, their pitching numbers are very good again. They've been good the past few years. And their offense is very pesky. They're gonna bunt, they're gonna steal, and if you don't play clean, they'll put a crooked number up on you. So we played a few teams similar to them, and so I thought we were maybe a little tight, or we pressed, or we maybe tried too hard. But then again, I don't want to take anything away from their guys that played really well.
Tucker's kind of had his struggles this year, but how big was that for him to come in and throw like that?
That's huge. We talk about trust. I think Tucker should know how much we trust him and believe in him and want him to have success. But, like I said, give our pitching staff a lot of credit, man. They pitched really well, and even some of the jams that we were in, man, we made some good pitches, and we keep getting better. I feel like our pitching staff keeps getting better, and there was obviously a handful of guys that didn't pitch tonight, but we had a few more guys ready to go if need be.
Jake, a big hit there in that inning, but then Eddie comes up and walks it off. Two guys that you don't mind having in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, again, when you talk about the walk-offs, right, as Jake Munroe seems to be in the middle of a lot of them. Eddie King has been in the middle of some, and I probably cost Eddie one at Virginia Tech when I tried to overcoach that night. But man, you got good players like that, and just let them play. Just let them play.
You said you need to get better. Can you go more deep on that? And
Well,
how a win like this helps you, like motivates a team to get even better?
Yeah, I mean, just manufacturing, one run there. You got the leadoff guy on, and we kind of goof on the bases a little bit, and we don't sit in there and get the bunt down. And I don't mind Alex. There's 2 outs, and they've got a left-on-left tough matchup with 2 strikes. So we're just thinking he's either going to throw a ball in the dirt or this ball's going to get put in play. And so maybe by Alex, running there, he just maybe didn't get as good a jump as I'd like him to get. So you feel like you have their attention now when you do bunt defense, and you do the first and thirds and the things you do in practice. These are the type of teams you're preparing for.
How special is to beat Kentucky and again?
I think it's big. I mean, it's we always say forget the records. I mean, they're still a really good team. The national championship just ended last night, so basketball is officially over, man. It is. In this state, it is now baseball season, for our fan bases. So it's kind of ironic that we play them, less than 24 hours when the hoop season ends. But of course, we get to play them again in a couple weeks. So I love it, man. It's a fun game. It's a fun rivalry. It's fun for our fans. There's a lot of good players on the field, and so I would imagine it's going to be another battle a couple weeks from now.
Jake kind of alluded to it. I guess there was some pregame rivalry excitement that happened.
Oh yeah. Some probably coaches being a little immature, and but that's frustration and kind of things that go on behind the scenes, and probably stuff in the recruiting world that people necessarily don't agree with, but that has nothing to do with the players and what you have to do between the lines. You got to throw strikes, make plays, and get timely hits, right? And we just did a little bit better than them tonight.
You talked a little bit this past weekend about how Lucas has even more, stuff in his toolbox than maybe he's always shown, and he showed it off tonight a little bit.
Amen.
That was outstanding, and something that that's a highlight play that might even get overlooked the way the game ends.
Amen. We're not afraid to say it. I mean, we are very, I don't know if arrogant is the right word, but the expectation to play in our outfield with the history of great outfielders that we've had, it's known when we recruit you, and it's known when you're in our program. So the outfielders know, the expectation, and Lucas is one of those elite runners, as we see on the bases, that we haven't. He's been good defensively, but I don't know if he would tell you he's been great, and he's capable of doing things like that, and so yeah, when I say there's more in him, there's things like that. There's a few things offensively that he can break out and get better at, but yeah, defensively, I hope that might even free him up a little more, help his first step quickness, and just start to show off how great he can be defensively.
Big road series now coming up for you, back into ACC play where every game's important.
Yeah, and NC State is playing well, and yes, the ACC going on the road the next 2 weekends is going to be a challenge, but I do want to make sure we celebrate and we promote next Tuesday's game, because 20 years at Jim Patterson Stadium, we don't have the success. This program wouldn't have the big leaguers and wouldn't have the notoriety it has if it wasn't for Jim Patterson. So the building of this stadium, man, it got me here, and it got a lot of great players here. And so I just want to celebrate it and make sure we we come out and get ready to play our next home game here in front of hopefully a big crowd.
Oh, it's the best feeling. It's the best feeling. I think going into that, we had a chance to walk it off in the ninth. Didn't get done, but we still knew we were going to come out on top.
What was the mindset after what happened in the ninth inning? Did anybody say anything, or did anybody have to say anything?
No, we didn't have to say anything. We just had to move on. We knew that we're a good team, especially late in ball games. Regardless of what happens, if we still get a bat last, we're going to win the game.
What do you say about the pitching that you guys tonight to really help you guys stay in the game?
Dominant. Everybody. It's nice to see Tucker have a good outing. He's going to be huge for us down the stretch. Wyatt, JB came in for one pitch, big pitch. The pitching has been awesome, kept us in the game, and allowed us to get him.
Your mindset when you're up at the plate, they bring a new pitcher in. What are you thinking about at that moment?
I knew they were going to try to spin me a little early, but I was staying committed on my fastball. As soon as I saw that pitch in the zone, I knew, I had to swing. It may have been the best pitch I got all AB. Umpire's zone was a little wide, I thought at least. So as soon as I saw that pitch, I knew I had to get a good swing off. Luckily it got through.
Today wasn't the best day in offense for you guys, but you still appeared in the clutch moment. What should that say about the mindset of this team?
I said it before, it's going to take, what is that today? It's going to take 30 outs to beat us. Regardless of, how many times they punch us, we'll get up and we'll win this game.
Base running has been such a strong suit for you guys, and to get thrown out kind of the ninth inning, what does that kind of mean to bounce back from that?
It's huge. I think it's right on par with what we've been doing all year, is getting punched in the throat and coming back. And I think, it's good that we can do it over and over again. It's not a fluke. It's the type of team we are.
Eddie clutched there, wasn't he?
Oh my God, I love Eddie. Even with 2 strikes, he's one of the best hitters in the nation. I've seen it way too many times. Ground ball, line drive with the middle, happened there.
You've talked before about, some of these big moments, some of these big series, big games, were some of the reasons you wanted to come to Louisville, to be in these moments. How did this setting and this game tonight against UK live up to what your thoughts were?
It was funny. I forget forget when I was smiling, but I was smiling like this is the situation you want to be in. You know, the rival, you know, Kentucky versus Louisville, you know, you always hear about it. And to be in this game and be in a late, close ball game, you know, it was kind of, again, it played into that dream come true.
What does it feel to just get the one up on them after not having the opportunity before?
It feels amazing. And I know that we got them again in a couple weeks. If we can sweep them this year, it'd be the best feeling.
Dan was talking before the game that even though it's a rivalry, you know, a lot of coaches might say, hey, it's just another game, but he said he approaches this a little bit different. What is he like leading into this game?
You know, it's like every other game, you know, focused. But you can kind of tell that, you know, there's something there between us. And, you know, it feels good for us to win this game. But for me, you know, there's some antics going on before the game, and I wanted to win this one for the coaches. So,
Talk about the way that this kind of propels you into, you know, some weekend road series coming up, and just the confidence this team is carrying right now.
Huge. It's nice to go into NC State on a high. Then we got Clemson following that. You know, tough competition. You know, this was a tough team, but it's going to lead us in the right direction.
5th walk-off win of the year for you guys. I mean, it's a heck of a mentality for you.
That is a great number to hear, but also, you know, something we want to stop doing at some point. Rather take care of them early, but it's good. It's good. Shows that we're on the right track.
But there was a good crowd, even with the cold and everything. So, what was your message for the fans that came to show up today?
Thank you for coming out. It means a lot. It was not fun conditions. Hopefully the one at Kentucky's better. Hope to see you guys there.
You mentioned that there were some pregame antics, and of course it's a rivalry game. Was it as chippy as you maybe expected it to be between these two?
Absolutely. I would say, you know, that tension was always there. You know, guys had to be calmed down. And, you know, it was funny, coaches a little bit. You know, the guys were doing some stuff, but, you know, it's part of it. It's glad we got the win. It's the best way to show them up.
What are you thinking there at that point, and especially with the 2 strikes?
Yeah, just move the ball. It doesn't matter, fly ball or ground ball. Just hit the ball somewhere and let Alex score. That's all I was thinking.
And then try to get out of the way so they don't tackle you and you don't get hurt again?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was definitely got to watch out there. Try not to get hurt, but yeah, it was a fun moment.
Just what did this game feel like playing in it again, and just the rivalry between Kentucky? It got a little chippy at times, a lot of base stealing and excitement. And what was it just like?
It was a very fun game. It's like back and forth, but you know, games like this you just never take for granted. Like it's only like I want to say once in a lifetime experience. Like everybody dreams of coming to like a big school playing in a rival game like that. So it's just really fun.
You guys are a team that usually put up some crooked numbers quite a bit and high scoring, but tonight it was kind of the pitching staff kind of allowed you guys to stay into it. How big was this bullpen for you guys today?
It was really huge. Just being able to rely on the pitchers, you know, that's really big. So it just takes pressure off of us. Just if they're jamming the ball in there, we have like a little less of a job to do. So I love it.
Eddie, when you guys make a couple mistakes as a team in an inning, like the 9th inning, and that happens, nobody has to say anything, do you? You know you just got to step up and do it the next time?
Yeah, you just can never give up. You just always got to see it through. Never give in. Just always know that I think we're the best team in the last 3 innings, so it's never over with us.
Coach has talked before about, you know, how hard it is to kind of learn how to DH when basically, you know, most everybody has probably been the best player on their team until they get here. You know, how do you adjust to staying locked in to the game and being ready for your at-bats without playing in the field?
I think it's a little bit of like talking to my teammates throughout the innings, like being in the game, cheering for my pitchers or anybody, the batters that's up to bat. But you know, it's just something I have to learn. Like just keep learning from it. It's all I can do. You know, got to get the job done. So gotta stay focused.
You're not familiar with walk-off games, but against this rival, it's extra special. What was the mentality in that dugout in the last inning?
Get the job done, you know. The coaches really wanted to win. We wanted to win. The fans wanted to win. So we know we had one job to do, and that's to get the win.
Cool.